Here's section 1 of your script with quality writing, keeping it tight, engaging, and straight to the point while staying within the 1,000-word limit. Pain. That was the first thing Jack Steele felt when he regained consciousness. A dull, throbbing ache radiated from every muscle in his body, his skull pounding like a war drum. His mouth tasted like burnt circuits and regret. He groaned, peeling open his eyes to find himself staring up at a sky that wasn't Earth's. Too purple, too hazy, and definitely had two suns. F***K. His memories pieced themselves together like a corrupted data file. The mission. The ambush. His ship taking a missile straight to the engine. His escape pod spiraling down like a drunk bird on fire. He sat up slowly, his body protesting. His armor was wrecked, one shoulder plate missing, visor cracked, emergency beacon blinking like a dying star. His weapons? Gone. Not great. Jungle sounds surrounded him, deep, guttural growls in the distance, the rustling of something big moving through the foliage. He had crash-landed on some backwater planet in the ass end of the galaxy, and he was completely alone. Then he heard it. Heavy footsteps. Many of them. Coming fast. ***. Jack froze, instincts kicking in. Whatever it was huge. The ground trembled slightly with each step. He reached for his combat knife, the only thing still strapped to his thigh. The trees burst apart like wet paper, and out came them. Towering. Wild. Gorgeous. Women. But not just any women. These were giants, easily 8 feet tall, with bronze skin, thick muscles, and long flowing hair in shades of gold, black, and deep crimson. Some carried bone-carved spears, others wore animal hides draped over their chests, leaving very little to the imagination. And every single one of them was staring straight at him. One of them stepped forward, clearly the leader. She was built like a goddess sculpted from war and temptation, with piercing green eyes and a crown made of fangs. ***, the prophesied man has arrived, ***, she declared, her voice carrying the weight of command. The other women gasped. A few whispered excitedly, eyeing him like a feast laid out on a royal table. Jack blinked. What? ***, the trial must begin, ***. Before he could process what the hell that meant, they rushed him. Whoa! Too late. Hands, ***, strong as steel cables, ***, grabbed his arms, his legs. He was lifted off the ground like a rag doll, carried on broad shoulders toward a massive tribal village hidden deep within the jungle. Jack struggled, but it was like trying to wrestle a freight train. They were too strong, too fast. He barely had time to take in the sights. ***, towering wooden structures, ***, open bonfires, strange floating blue orbs that pulsed with energy. In the center of it all sat a massive stone throne, adorned with silk and bones. They threw him onto it, not roughly, but firmly enough to let him know he wasn't going anywhere. Thick vines wrapped around his wrists and ankles, securing him in place. Jack gritted his teeth. All right, look. I don't know what kind of Amazonian kink fantasy this is, but I did not sign up for. A hush fell over the crowd as a new figure emerged from the largest hut. She was even bigger than the rest, ***, easily 10 feet tall, ***, with raven black hair cascading down her back, piercing violet eyes, and skin that seemed to glow under the firelight. She was barely wearing anything, ***, a ceremonial wrap of silk draped loosely around her, ***, exposing thick thighs and toned abs that looked like they could break a man in half. And judging by the odd whispers, she was important. She stepped closer, towering over him. Her scent hit him, earthy, warm, laced with something dangerously sweet. Jack swallowed hard. She traced a finger under his chin, lifting his head to meet her gaze. ***, you are smaller than I imagined, but the prophecy is clear, ***. Jack exhaled slowly. Yeah? And what prophecy is that, exactly? She smiled. Slow. Knowing, ***. ***, eat p****, SY, or die, Asterisk asterisk. Silence. Jack blinked. Once. Twice. He stared at her, waiting for some kind of clarification, maybe a punchline. None came. The entire tribe looked dead serious. Jack let out a dry laugh. I'm sorry. Did you just say? Asterisk asterisk, the ritual of sating must be completed. If you fail to bring pleasure to our goddess, you will be fed to the beast. Asterisk asterisk. His stomach dropped. The beast? A deep, guttural roar echoed from somewhere in the jungle, shaking the ground beneath them. The crowd chanted in unison, bowing their heads. Asterisk asterisk, the beast. Asterisk asterisk. Jack's jaw clenched. Okay. That did not sound like a metaphor. He turned back to the high priestess. All right. And just for clarification, sating means... She smirked, leaning in so close he could feel her breath on his skin. Asterisk asterisk, your tongue must prove your worth, little warrior. Or your flesh will nourish the earth. Asterisk asterisk. Jack exhaled sharply through his nose. This was not happening. You have until the moons are at their peak, she continued. Then the ritual begins. A pair of warriors untied his feet, dragging him toward a large ceremonial hut. Jack struggled one last time, but the steel grip of these Amazonian giants was impossible to break. He wasn't winning this one with brute force. Which meant he had two choices. Figure out how to escape before this ritual happened. Or, well, he looked at the dozens of beautiful, feral giantesses watching him hungrily, whispering amongst themselves, their eyes filled with anticipation. Jack sighed. Mother of God! The hut smelled of incense and something faintly sweet, almost intoxicating. Jack was dumped onto a pile of silk cushions, the fabric cool against his overheated skin. The warriors who brought him left without a word, sealing the entrance behind them with a heavy wooden slab. He was trapped. He exhaled slowly, rubbing his wrists where the vines had been. His body still ached from the crash, but adrenaline was keeping him alert. He needed to think. Outside, the tribe was celebrating, drums pounding, voices chanting in a language he didn't understand. A ritual was coming, and he was the main event. He scanned the hut. No obvious weapons. The walls were reinforced with thick vines and wood, sturdy enough that brute force wouldn't get him out. A small window near the top let in the glow of the twin moons. Too high to reach. His mind raced. He could try to talk his way out of this, but these women seemed set in their ways. He could fight, but without a weapon, he'd be overpowered in seconds. Escape seemed unlikely. Then, the heavy door creaked open. She stepped inside. The high priestess. Her presence filled the room, her towering frame moving with effortless grace. The silk barely clinging to her body shifted with every step, teasing glimpses of smooth, bronze skin. Her violet eyes glowed in the dim light, locked onto him with unsettling focus. Jack tensed. She knelt in front of him, close enough that he could feel her body heat. Her scent was stronger now, earthy, sweet, laced with something that made his head swim. You are nervous, he scoffed. Nervous? Lady, I was dragged here by a tribe of giant women who think I'm some kind of prophecy. And now I'm supposed to perform in a ritual without even knowing the rules. So yeah, let's go with nervous. Her lips curled into a small smile. You misunderstand. This is a great honor. For who? For you. He raised an eyebrow. I must have hit my head harder than I thought. She reached out, brushing her fingers over his cheek. Her touch was surprisingly gentle. Our goddess demands satisfaction. You are the chosen one. Jack sighed. And what happens if I don't meet expectations? She tilted her head. Then you will be given to the beast. Right. That damn thing again. Jack leaned back against the cushions, running a hand through his messy hair. Okay. Let's say I play along. What exactly does this ritual involve? Her smile widened. You prove your devotion through pleasure. If you succeed, you will be blessed as the first male ever welcomed into our tribe. If you fail, Yeah? The beast. She nodded. Jack exhaled. He had been in some insane situations before, but this? This was on another level. And yet, the way she looked at him, the way her body radiated warmth, something in him stirred. You have questions, she said. A few. He gestured around. You've never had a man here before? She shook her head. Men are weak. They cannot endure. Their bodies break. Jack blinked. Break? She reached out, tracing a finger down his chest, over the torn fabric of his suit. You are stronger than the others. You survived the crash. That is why the goddess has chosen you. Jack swallowed. Right. Lucky me. Her fingers trailed lower, stopping just above his waistline. Her touch was feather-light, teasing, testing. He caught her wrist. You sure this isn't just some elaborate way to kill me? She smirked. Would that be so terrible? His body was betraying him. The heat between them was undeniable, the tension thick enough to cut with a blade. But something in the back of his mind screamed trap. If he went along with this, he needed a plan. An angle. A way to turn the situation in his favor. All right, he said finally. Let's say I do this. What happens after? If you succeed, you will be ours. He frowned. Ours? She leaned in, her breath warm against his ear. All of us. Jack's mind short-circuited for a moment. This planet was insane. He needed to escape. But first, he needed to survive the night. The drums outside grew louder, their rhythm syncing with the heavy thud of Jack's heartbeat. He was led through the village, his arms free but his path controlled by towering women on either side. Their bodies shimmered under the firelight, their skin adorned with gold-painted symbols that pulsed like living tattoos. At the center of the village, a massive stone platform awaited. The high priestess stood atop it, her violet eyes burning with an otherworldly glow. Behind her, a towering wooden effigy of their goddess loomed, its carved face a mix of serenity and hunger. Jack exhaled. Stay sharp. Play along. Find an opening. ****. The women around him murmured in anticipation. The scent of burning herbs thickened in the air, making his thoughts swim. He was pushed forward, and suddenly, he was face to face with the high priestess once again. She studied him, her full lips parting slightly as if tasting the moment. The time has come. Jack forced a smirk. I didn't even get a dinner first. A ripple of laughter passed through the gathered women. The priestess smirked, amused but unwavering. You think this is a joke? She asked, stepping closer. Lady, my entire life has been a joke, Jack muttered. Her fingers trailed down his chest again, deliberate, assessing. Then prove to us that men are not merely weak creatures who fall apart at the first taste of power. Jack's smirk faltered. There was something in her tone, something deeper. A challenge. The crowd fell silent. He could feel the weight of 100 hungry gazes pressing against his skin. The priestess tilted her head, waiting. He exhaled. And if I refuse? She didn't answer. Instead, she stepped aside and gestured toward the far end of the platform. The women parted, revealing a massive, rusted iron gate built into the earth. From behind it came a deep, guttural growl. Jack clenched his jaw. The beast. The priestess turned back to him, her expression soft but unyielding. There is no refusal. Only choice. The crowd began to chant in their strange, melodic tongue. The energy in the air shifted, expectant, primal. Jack's pulse quickened. He could fight, but against all of them? Not a chance. Running? Nowhere to go. That left one option. His gaze locked onto the priestess's. He took a slow, deliberate step forward. She didn't flinch. If anything, her lips parted slightly, her breath hitching. Jack reached up, brushing a strand of silver hair from her face. I don't like being forced into things, he murmured. She shivered, just for a second. But he caught it. A weakness. A spark of something human beneath the goddess-like exterior. Jack smirked. Gotcha. I do this, he said, voice low. I do it on my terms. The chanting slowed. The women shifted, glancing at each other in uncertainty. This wasn't how it was supposed to go. The priestess studied him, her expression unreadable. Then, slowly, she nodded. The crowd erupted in cheers. The gate to the beast remained closed. For now. The celebration had begun, but Jack knew better than to lower his guard. The giant women surrounded him, their towering forms moving with a blend of grace and raw power, eyes filled with a mix of curiosity and hunger. The high priestess sat on a throne-like seat carved from dark stone, watching him as the firelight flickered against her golden-painted skin. The air was thick with an intoxicating aroma, a blend of burning herbs and something deeper, something primal. Hands touched him, some playful, some testing his reactions. Jack let out a slow breath, keeping his body loose, his mind sharp. You intrigue them, the priestess murmured, her voice a purr just loud enough for him to hear. Jack smirked. I get that a lot. Her lips curled slightly, but there was an edge in her gaze, a flicker of something unreadable. She gestured, and the women around him stilled. The energy in the air shifted, less frenzied, more focused. You claim to do this on your terms, she continued. Now you must prove it. Jack's smirk didn't waver, but deep down, he knew this was the real test. Whatever game he had played before had only bought him time. Now, they expected him to deliver. The crowd parted, revealing a massive silken tent set against the backdrop of the moonlit jungle. The priestess stood, motioning for him to follow. He did, feeling the weight of 100 eyes on his back as they stepped inside. The moment the heavy fabric fell shut behind them, the air grew warmer, quieter. Candles flickered along the edges, casting dancing shadows on the richly woven rugs beneath their feet. The priestess turned to face him fully, her violet eyes sharp and assessing. This is not about pleasure alone, she said. This is about power. Jack exhaled slowly. Everything with you people is about power, huh? She stepped closer. It is survival. To control is to live. Jack tilted his head. And what happens if I don't break the way you expect? She reached up, running a single finger down his chest, slow and deliberate. Then you will have rewritten the rules of our world. A dangerous statement. An invitation wrapped in a warning. Jack chuckled under his breath. I've never been much of a rule follower. She smiled. Then tonight you are either a god or a fool. Outside, the chanting resumed. Inside, the game was about to begin. Jack took a step forward, meeting her gaze head-on. No more posturing. No more waiting. He had played along long enough. Now, it was time to turn the tables.